Alrighty, let's do this thing. This is the story of how I lost all my clients, but I gained something else. When I first started working professionally as a designer, I was 21. I was freshly thrown out of the School of Visual Arts in New York. But the reason I moved to New York at 19 and went to design school is that I already knew what I wanted. I wanted to be a designer. Actually, I wanted to be the world's greatest poster designer. So getting thrown out of school was no big thing for me. It did not derail me or slow me or distract me. So at 21, I was out on my own, all brave and scared shitless at the same time. And after realizing there were no real jobs designing posters, I decided to get work and design book covers, because there was a lot of work for freelance designers at the time. My very first client, and this is like 3 weeks out of getting thrown out of school, my very first client and my major pimp at the time was a creative director at HarperCollins named Joseph. Joseph gave me my first job, and he then would call me in and give me 3 or 4 projects at a time, because he knew I could handle the load and do them quickly and make him happy. I made him happy because creatively I had no opinion. I was a chameleon. You know the thing. You know when you're desperate for work and you don't have a clue. So you make illustrations look like illustrations, book covers look like book covers, logos look like logos. You know, you make the obvious obviouser. Many designers want to slip into different looks. It's a good way to make people happy and get paid. You change your style to suit the project. Makes complete sense. But the problem is that you never learn who you are or what you're capable of. And by not putting your opinion in your work, you don't give yourself the opportunity to define your voice. This is why most of the work in the marketplace today is a high level of mediocrity. As a young designer, I was really trying to find my way. I hadn't developed a voice or style. I only had drive and intention. Or, as my mom would call it, piss and vinegar. I was figuring it out. So here I am in my mid-20s now, busy working for all the major publishers in New York, making book jackets look like book jackets. And I had $20,000 months. I bought my first motorcycle cash. I was wearing fancy suits. I was feeling rather full of myself. And then one day it struck me that I had an opinion. I had my own sense of humor. I had my own way of seeing things. I had my own sense of color and shape and form. And I wanted to apply these sensibilities to my work. I distinctly remember that moment, that epiphany. I wanted to make the book covers that I wanted to see, not the covers that I thought the publisher wanted. The truth is this, listen, I actually just wanted to be creative and not just spit out the right and obvious answer. So I started pushing. I started using my sense of humor and applying the wrongest answers to my work. The response was immediate. Publishers dropped me from their list of go-to designers. I wasn't giving them their easy answers, so I had a lot of jobs killed. And at one point, I was practically living on kill fees. Even my main man, Joseph, turned on me. One day he called me in and gave me a manuscript for a new project. And I knew he was kinda already frustrated. And he said in a matronly and condescending voice, "James." I distinctly remember how he said my name. "James, if you bring me back something I'm not happy with, I will never work with you again." And I never worked with him again. So poised between making work that made other people happy or struggling to find my voice, I did what seemed the reasonable and responsible solution. I stuck to my guns. I kept making work that was important to me, work that mattered to me. Hey, let me take a moment here. And if you are a frustrated creative and you're seeking your voice, and you think maybe working with a coach or mentor would be the thing to push you over the edge to get you to where you want to go, let's work together. There's a link in the description to a questionnaire that may be of help to you. If you can't find it, drop me a line. But answer the questionnaire, book your free call, and let's talk. I want to help you get paid to do what you love. Okay, back to the story. To most designers, losing all your clients would be a big signpost that you should get back in line, get down on your knees and beg for your supper. Because most designers have a tendency to be people pleasers. So we get stuck. We get stuck with crappy clients, or we get stuck with crappy jobs. And we're stuck because our fear won't allow us to see any other option. It's the bad relationship mentality that this current crappy existence is better than nothing. Our fear of poverty, our feelings of failure, they want us to do the responsible and, quite frankly, normal thing, which is to remain unhappy so we can pay our bills. Even many design authorities these days are teaching people how to make clients happy. That's the number one prerogative. Or how to be the chameleon, something for everybody. And it's a good tactic if you want to make money, but a shitty one if you want to be happy. Or if you want to take a chance at creating a name for yourself and building a reputation for excellence, which is really why you started down this path in the first place, isn't it? If you wanted to make gobs of money, you would have worked for a bank. Listen, when they finally arrested the notorious bank robber Jesse James, they asked him, they said, "Mr. James, why do you rob banks?" And Jesse James said, "That's where they keep the money." Had I done what was reasonable or responsible, I wouldn't have the amazing career I have. If I had let my fear of not making enough money stop me, I wouldn't have a reputation. If I let my fear of poverty take over, if I let my fear of, "James, you may never work again," if I let that be the voice in my head, I wouldn't be me. If I'm not pushing myself creatively, and if I'm not pushing my clients, and if I'm not pushing my audience, then I'm not doing my job. For me, my decision to stick to my guns was a trust issue. I had to trust my vision. I had to trust my opinion. I had to trust my voice. I had to trust my senses and my abilities. And I had to trust my humor and my gift. And I had to trust that there were clients out there for me, or at least other ways to support myself financially with my gift. I had to trust that there were people out there who wanted to see and share and even buy my work. So I lost all my big clients, but I gained a career. So you see, the right question here is, will you let your fear of poverty run the show? Or will you take a chance and trust yourself and trust your gift, trust your audience, and give yourself the elbow room to create a reputation for excellence? I'm James Victori. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. The right questions, without your questions, is just me sitting in a room talking to myself. So send me your questions about life and work and creativity and fear and confidence and love, and I'll be here for you. Thank you. I love you. Adios.